There are a lot of variations on how to do line drawing. Here's mine. Oh, by the way, and Michelangelo's too. One of the variations on line drawing that needs to be tossed in a trash can is a little method that nobody taught anybody, and I don't know where it came from, but you see it sometimes, and it can only make cartoon drawings. And that is, if you a method I see people using where they're grabbing the pencil really tight like that and using their fingers, and they're just kind of scratching. That's because of insecurity. When you don't know what to do, you're going to scratch at it. So let's get rid of that. That one is not going to work on any interpretation of drawing. But let's look at a more classical method for setting up a line drawing. Now you might want to set up a line drawing just to be a drawing within itself, or you might want to develop a value drawing from it, such as we have done with one of our lessons coming out in September. On the 5th Friday of September, we're doing a complete lesson on light and shadow, how to draw light and shadow. But in order to do that, you need a line drawing. So you could also just use the line drawing for practice, or practice your skills, the skills for forming shapes and so on. So let me show you a good way to go about that. One, if you feel insecure about the shapes and so on, it's a good idea to place it, to create some just marks of demarcation, lines of demarcation, just to place it. Now, as you get further and further into feeling confident with your line drawing, you won't need this anymore. But it's just a little aid in case you do. In order to do that, what you would do, I'm using this bird as my subject, as you can see. What you would do is to take your arm and move it back and forth like this at the top of the subject. In which angle does that move? And very generally, so the subject angle would move like that, the top of the head. Now then we would find the next general angle. And you see this really moves kind of in like a little, that's almost a 1 o'clock angle on the clock. So just put a very fine little thin line there and to indicate that angle at which these edges move. And then we go around in on the next side, and we find those angles move a little bit more towards almost 5 o'clock, maybe around 4:30. So then we would do that, and then we see that an angle interrupts right here, and then another angle, another little 5, that's also a little 5 o'clock angle, and then it just comes straight down like that as a 6 o'clock, going from 12 to 6 like that. Then it turns here as if it were moving more towards 7 o'clock right here. And then on this a horizontal line at the bottom there, as we see, and then and we barely see, but we can see that this portion goes straight up like that. Gives a little container of space for the subject to live. And from that point, the drawing comes from the shoulder and the elbow. Use the hand as a holder, just to hold the pencil, but not to participate in the drawing, not when you're at this stage. So a good way to explore then, or put the thing together, is to what I call phantom draw at first. So you could hold your pencil and align it with the shape like this, where you move your arm with that shape, and you can see, oh, that's what that feels like. Phantom draw it where you're not really touching the pencil to the paper, and then put the shape down like that. Then you move on to the next shape. So the next shape might be here. So we would phantom draw that shape in that direction. We can come here and phantom draw and then put that shape down like that. Then we can continue like that as we're moving around the subject. We can continue to phantom draw, which means that you're simply imitating without touching. You're simply imitating the subject with the point of the pencil. And we could move then like this, and then continue the phantom drawing and and creating the shape as we move around. And so there we go. Now we've got the beak of the bird, and then we can see that the back of the bird forms right there with the beak, and we can phantom draw it. Feel what it feels like holding the pencil, not allowing the wrist and the hand to participate, but allowing the movement of the shoulder and the elbow to describe that. And then as you move around, you see where does it connect, you phantom draw it, phantom feel it, and do it on the paper. And you would continue to move around the subject like that. You will reach a point, as I said before, if you practice this little technique for long enough and you become enough comfortable with it, then you will soon become so comfortable with the technique that you'll be able to develop the line drawing without having to do that the phantom drawing and then back to the line drawing itself. So and from that point you're simply using everything as a reference, where you move the pencil, and notice what I'm doing here. I'm moving the pencil with my arm like that. I'm making the mark, allowing the pencil, allowing my hand to play the role of making the mark, but I am moving the pencil. Now this is a gestural movement I'm going in right here, where I'm just simply moving the pencil along the subject, and then allowing the pencil to touch the paper and describe what I have just experienced. So you would continue to move that way as you move throughout the subject. You continue to move that way until you have drawn the complete subject. And so you can see now how you could use a method like that for creating a line drawing. It will be in a live drawing, and then you will not be restricted. You don't have to memorize any how-to rules. And I'd like for you to also take this a step further. If you'd like to go into showing the lights and the shadows within your line drawing, check out our longer lesson, our full lesson on drawing lights and shadows, which is our series, our Fifth Friday series. You go down to the Fifth Friday extras and you look for the title, Drawing Lights and Shadows. And that will be on our website at the end of September. So there's your quick tip.